then screams it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer is trapped in melancholy with the wood wands of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. The paupers see this mockery and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
Sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. Tonight on Rogue Ways, it is an honor and a pleasure to host a dear friend and a truly gifted spiritual channel in connection with the highest from source and from the place of deepest love, peace, and harmony. A blessed and high-level animal communication specialist who is also a teacher and guide to others on their spiritual path. She can connect you more deeply, assist you in healing at every level, share the messages from your spirit animals and guides, as well as other spiritual energies, and will uplift you anytime you're in her presence. The bridge between worlds, Katherine O'Shea. Welcome back to Rogue Ways once again. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Lindsay. Always such a gracious intro you offer. I'm so happy to be here. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here.
I'm so excited to talk to you about what we're talking about tonight, which is the summer solstice and the amazing retreat we got to do together. But before we talk about that, I always want to let everyone know my books, my one-on-one services, my spiritual healing sessions, my orgone accumulators, and more are all at rogueways.org. You can find everything I do there. And if you want to get channeled messages as they come out, my Substack is rogueways.substack.com. You can also just reach out and say hello. I love connecting with people. So all of it, either way, rogueways.org, rogueways.substack.com. They're both great places to go. Thank you all for being here and for being you. And so Katherine and I, it was my deep honor, I should say, that Katherine joined me as a retreat co-leader for the Blazing Brightness Solstice Retreat. I was honored to host this summer solstice just a few days ago. We just finished yesterday, actually. Can you believe that?
I know. I feel like I'm so glad we're spending more time together.
Yeah, the time and space has been like really strange for this whole time. But we met in this ancient and sacred location. It's Crestone, Colorado. We connected with some really deep powers of the earth there, some height of the sun's journey at the summer solstice. The heights of our spiritual connection to source and to God, to heaven. And we did all this to transform ourselves and the world in this beautiful source field of all that is good, true, and beautiful. I was called to create this sometime last year. And I answered with all of my energy and integrity to make it happen. And all sorts of people came together to support this process too and create this. And Katherine is one of them. So I'm honored to have experienced such profundity with so many beautiful souls who answered the call of their hearts to attend this beautiful experience as well. It's been nothing short of miraculous. And I wanted to start, I always have a pointless question of the episode. And today my pointless question of the episode for Katherine is, what's one thing about the retreat that you will never forget?
Oh, wow. There's so many parts,
There's so many.
I think it's just really the cultivation of like just gathering with that intention and so much light consistently. And that's just such a unique experience. And I was so honored to be there with everyone, and everyone had their own journey to get there. Some people traveled really far. Some people drove for days. And, I really hadn't met anyone else in person but you and Johnny. And so it was just this beautiful experience of just like how you can just be transported into that and really, really just experience people, their souls so deeply in such a beautiful and profound way.
I love that.
It's just this message of hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like a relief to find other people who are also beautiful souls and hearts. Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes, it's really not that easy to just stay in that light all the time in this world. And to meet other people who are so dedicated to it, and also humans, and having fun and laughing and, being authentic and sincere and loving. And it was just, it's like, yeah, okay, there's hope. Like there's a lot of people out here who are willing to open their hearts and connect to the brightness.
So beautiful. I loved that in a good way. We were sort of like, man, it feels like we've been here for weeks. It was like day 2 and someone said, well, the first week we were here. And I was like, it does feel like we've been here for a week. Like, it's the best possible way, because there was so much that came together with all of these people. And it was amazing too. And many, many people commented on this, that, and it, it's not always comfortable and fun to spend a lot of close quarter times with a lot of people, right? You sometimes just need to back away or go be on your own. And not that we didn't need to do that from time to time, but for the most part, everyone wanted to spend as much time as possible together. And even between sessions and even late nights and early mornings, people were just gathering and having so much fun. And that's not common, right? But this is like a soul connection that we share, and it's kind of beyond our rational ability to understand, and it's just really beautiful.
And I think that's one other thing I got to experience and witness and be reminded of, is like, even when you're going in that deep healing and that deep release through what's going on in your heart, in your field, in your relationships, and whatever's coming up for you, which is going to be different for everybody. Like, yeah, to not want to isolate and run away, to actually be held in this group. It's just so, and I'm sure we're going to get into it. I don't know what all you want me to share in this moment, but it was
you can go anywhere you want to go.
We're open. So beautifully received by you and expedited, like, or whatever, that this like created that way, where we had plenty of time in between everything. So sometimes it can feel like rocks in a dryer, a little bit. It's just like, oh God, hold on, but it was so beautifully paced. And there was just this beautiful amount of togetherness, and then free time where you could be together, or you could do this, or you could, be together with this many people or this many people. And also the food, like the place was really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know you were guided specifically to that.
Oh yeah. My guidance was like, this place is where you need to go. And they also told me in my guidance that it would be the summer solstice, right? And so I contacted this place and I was like, I'd love to come on the summer solstice. And they're like, we're so sorry, that date is taken. Here's the dates we have available. And I was like, oh, I guess I got the message wrong. It happens sometimes, I guess. And so I picked some other date, but I waited like 2 weeks to get back to them, because which I never, ever do.
You don't. Yeah.
I do not do that. Yeah, I'm like a timely person. And so it was really strange, but I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It took me so long. I'll go with this date. And they're like, oh, that date's not available anymore. Here's our new list of dates. And the summer solstice was there. I was like, that summer solstice. So they were right. The guidance was right? I just had to trust it. But this location, I also knew it had to be in Crestone, Colorado. And this specific location was also called like the Blazing Mountain something. And it was so perfect, because we usually do one day of brightness. This is a 1 day of bright. It was summer solstice, every winter solstice, every spring and fall equinox, 1 day of brightness happens. And this is sort of like a 1 day in brightness event in person.
It was.
So I was like, this blazing word in the title, like, was really beautiful, because I was just then able to grab that and say, okay, fine, it's the Blazing Brightness Retreat, right? So pretty cool how it all fell together to guide us all to this place, which, by the way, somewhat difficult to get to. Like, not only did a lot of people have to fly or drive, but even this last little stretch to get to this center, it's a little bit challenging roads. I was kind of thinking, man, I hope everybody feels comfortable making it. And I don't know that they did, but everyone did make it, and no one complained at all about that. And I was just like, I think sometimes we're asked to challenge ourselves a little bit to like prove that we want the payoff, right? To prove that we're committed to this thing we're choosing. And I think that was part of it.
I mean, so I rode with a couple of people, right? I had not met in person before. And we kind of met in the airport area. And then we rode down together, and it was just really beautiful. The drive, it is out there, but it's so beautiful.
So pretty.
And I think by the time we got there, we were just like, oh, we got here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you could just feel, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was all the things. Even like I was getting really dizzy and kind of nauseous, which I don't usually do in driving in the mountains. It's like the elevation or the movement, what was happening, I'm not sure. But
it was so much energy too. This location is so powerful, actually.
yes.
Right. Like when we talk about this, I think some people are like, oh, sure, you like the location. No, the location it's an energy vortex or portal.
Yeah.
Whether we want to or not, like it or not, like that's what the location is. And I think it's effective.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I tell the story of this first time I went to that area, this mountain, you know, as soon as I got into the valley, this mountain like called me. It was just like yelling at me. And I was like, oh, hi. Like, you know, I love you. Thank you. And I understand like I'm supposed to come connect with you, but I'll have to do it another time. I'm on my way to this other retreat that I actually attended. And so I'm driving and driving and driving. And you know, I'm like kind of telling it like, I promise I'll come back. I'm not ignoring you. I love you. Like, thank you for the invitation. And then it turns out I was going like straight to that mountain. I was like, oh, you were just like welcoming me and calling me. So I understood more deeply, but we got to hold this retreat on that same mountain. And it is actually a sacred mountain. I later learned of the tribes and of the peoples who have inhabited this valley for hundreds, thousands of years. So very powerful location.
And you could feel it.
You could feel it.
Yeah, I think like I'm kind of sensitive to that stuff, but I feel like even if you weren't, there would be an experience. And I think part of that was because honestly, sometimes in big, powerful retreats like this, where you're doing days and days of just work and integrating and connecting to people and just, you know, really in this kind of way, engaged in this way, it can be really full on. And I think there were definitely moments of that, and everybody probably had a different experience. But I feel like the energy that we were being held in the space we were in, the physical vortex we were in, actually made that process easier.
Yeah. It's like overwhelming in a way. And at the same time, like you can do so much more in that space. You can release more trauma, karma, blockage, whatever it is that is appropriate for you. And you can also receive more easily, right? Something you might be too big for you to receive in another place or time or setting or group. And here it's just easier. And I think that's part of why the time and space was weird, right? We're like, I don't know, we've been here for weeks.
It's a little weird for me. I don't know if it is for you.
Still, yeah. When we left yesterday and then had to go like just interact with humanity, I was just sort of like, I don't know how to do this anymore. Like, I think I forgot how to human, and not in a horrible way or anything. I was just like, can I just talk to this person without like blasting them away with light? Like, I just feel like I'm like glowing and they're gonna like, you know, who is this lady or what's wrong with her? Is she high? Like, right? We got to a restaurant and I was like, Johnny, can you just pick something in order for me? Like, I don't even know if I can make words like at someone. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, same. I had to like just sleep for a little while. I couldn't actually really make any kind of like decisions or communication, or I was like, I was like, I need to rest.
And we were sleeping. It's not like we were staying up all night or not resting, right? But it's a lot to take back into the world when you get to be in this place where it's like so high energy. Everyone's so all in. It's such a beautiful vortex and connection. It's all sorts of big, deep work and big movements with people and transforming work with people. And then you just go like stand in line somewhere. And there's like just like a different reality.
Right, or the airport, or lots of people were doing lots of different things.
Yeah. I slept, I think, for 12 hours last night. I was pretty sure. Yeah. I bet if we could take a poll of the people who attended, like that would be an average.
It might, unless they couldn't.
Right. Unless you couldn't.
Yeah, I purposely gave myself a day of like reacclimation.
Me too. Like space, just keep it open. It's kind of like the space I was guided to put in between sessions when I was making the
Yeah, it
schedule.
was so great.
I was like, are you sure? You know, again, my guidance was like, don't pack anything else into this. Just let it be open. I was like, people are going to get bored, you know, but no, it was like that was needed for people to, you know, you just like run into someone and the right conversation would happen. It would help you kind of accept something a little deeper or let go of something a little bit more or just exactly what you needed to hear. And everybody was just sort of being their magical selves, whether they knew it or not. And it was really perfect, actually.
Yep, it really, really was. And it's also so nice because it was just such a beautiful, beautiful facility also
Yeah.
in that very sacred place. And just the whole energy of all of it. But also like we had these delicious, nutritious meals just like cooked and ready for us. And we all ate together and snacked together. I did think it was kind of funny, like the post-session snack, the post-session pre-dinner or pre-whatever meal snack that would happen.
Bless our food together.
We all
Yeah.
bless our food together and just, yeah, really, really. Yeah,
Sorry.
and then the nighttime, it was just like this flow of like being able to get up and do whatever. Like I would do a little morning practice with myself just to connect. And then, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. And then, you know, having breakfast together and then doing our set and then having a little time to kind of work through, you know, post breakfast and then do the sessions and then have some time and then eat lunch, have a little time, do the evening session, have a little time, and then go outside to one of the most spectacular things about it was the sky.
Yeah, that nighttime thing. So I again was guided. I have told whoever asks or whoever would like to listen about my experiences interacting with who I call the spiritual ancestors or the Wogies is another fun name that I call them. And they're light beings that are easiest to interact with in the night sky. So this place is not only like a dark night area, they're trying to get an even stronger sort of dark night commitment from the different towns in this region. So there's really less light pollution and you have this beautiful view of the sky. It's so easy to stargaze there. But then we also got to connect with these light beings in the sky. And I don't think there was anyone who didn't have an experience. I think everyone got their confirmation that something beyond, you know, the sort of physical or whatever is going on up there, and got some sort of interaction, right? That was really special. I wouldn't have shared it if they didn't sort of tell me like, we want to show up for people if you want to invite people to come connect with us. And I was like, okay.
That was the first time I had done it like that, especially in a group, a big group. And it was sacred. It was fun. It was bonding. It was like individually very special and meaningful. It was kind of all the things.
Yeah.
And like so spectacular.
Yeah. Everyone got an experience that was undeniable. And yeah, it's very personal. It is very personal. You know, that there's something about the group that almost makes it harder, I would say, actually, for those beings to interact. Because if you imagine someone over here is looking at them and someone over here is looking at the same one and they're both asking it a question, how's it going to respond? Right. But when you can get your own sort of little interaction over here and someone else is looking that way and this way, then everyone gets to have this very personal, very interactive experience. And I think everyone got at least one of those, which was really
cool. It was kind of fun. Like I kind of felt like a little kid in the best way. It was just like, you know, you just hear someone get excited.
Over here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you see that?
Well, and then it would do one of them would do something like spectacular and everyone would be like, oh. Very cool. Very fun. Yeah, it was really gratifying for me too, because I've tried to share this with so many people and there's a lot of people who don't want this experience. And so I stopped sort of, right? I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt anyone or like help, you know, invite them to do something that's a little too much too soon for them. But everyone in the group, you know, I think chose this and wanted this, and that was really cool.
Well, that was such a beautiful thing about the retreat in general, is it's like there was that space to participate in a way that felt good to you, but also like the calling of all of it was so powerful that you want to show up for it. But if you know, whatever your needs were, you know, there was no judgment, no pressure, no, you know, you could kind of do what you needed to do. And even with that, everybody showed up so fully.
Yeah.
And you, with that, I think you can just trust that you are going to receive everything you need and want. And there's continued chances to show up and connect. So many opportunities for connection in so many different flows, right? The more like together meditation, classroom kind of thing, the eating, the just connecting in different ways, this, you know, the stargazing, all the ways. Yeah. And the other part I loved is bringing like a gift to share with the earth and with each other. I thought that was a really beautiful piece of the ceremony, of the time that you brought to that. I thought that was really, really, really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I know when they sort of told me like, okay, everyone needs to bring a gift from the earth. That makes sense to me, right? We need to honor the space we're in and give something because we're going to receive so much. But when they said, you know, bring something that people can exchange, I was kind of like, oh, I mean, like, that's cool, right? It creates connection. It creates a little bond. It breaks some ice. It's nice. You get honored for being there and acknowledged for being there right off the bat. But what I didn't necessarily expect, which I thought was so beautiful, which I'm sure was the plan, was that the gifts people ended up like, because I just said, you know, pick someone in the room and just walk up to them and just be the person who, you know, that's your exchange person. Everybody got the gift that was perfect for them. You know, like the gift that was brought was for that person, whether you ever knew it or not. This was all planned beyond what we could have planned. And I loved that so much. It was so cool to see that.
Well, and that was such a cool thing to experience. My birds are flying. If you see a green flash in front of your face, that's what it is. What I had brought to share, I kind of like even questioned. I was guided to bring a few different things. And then when I connected to the person I was connecting to, it was really clear on what the gift was going to be. And, you know, almost in my mind, I was trying to like minimalize because, you know, he shared something with me that was like a keepsakey thing. And I was like, wow. And I was like, this is what I'm sharing with you. But it actually was perfect and resonated beyond what I could have planned to somebody I didn't know and had never met before. Anyway, that is just really cool to experience.
That's really so cool. Yeah, you kind of question, is this a good enough gift? I was trying to assure people ahead of time. I was like, don't overthink it. Just like bring something that you think is beautiful and cool and it's perfect. So I love that. Yeah, the more I learned about who got what from who, I was just like, this was so cool, actually. Like, yeah. And yeah, I know you already mentioned it, but that retreat center is so beautiful. The rooms were so comfortable. The spaces, the common spaces were so awesome. They had so many different rooms we could go use as we needed. And the staff was so awesome. Like they were so, because they, you know, they're all on their spiritual path and journey too. They're all there for our purpose and our reason. They're all there in this, you know, heart of service. That food they made was incredible. Like every meal,
it was so good and so simple, but so delicious. And I guess I didn't really learn this till the end, but it's like a completely gluten-free facility.
Yeah. They technically, like, you can bring gluten in and they have a space for
snacks and stuff.
Yes. Their kitchen is a gluten-free kitchen.
It was like gluten-filled zone or something like that.
Zone over here. Yeah, really, really cool. And it's all local and it's all like free range and it's all grass-fed. It's like the highest quality food.
Really good.
And you know, when you go to these things, sometimes it's like, I wouldn't have had a choice what food they wanted to serve, right? I just hope that it's good. And sometimes you go to these things and it's like Sodexo, Marriott, like cafeteria style. And it's like, well, you know, we'll make do. This was so the opposite. I was stunned and really, really
grateful. It's like having a personal chef. It was so, I mean, it was so good. And And also the rooms were really simple but very comfortable, and you got to be alone at sleeping time unless you came with a partner, right? But that was really nice.
Very, very cool. Yeah, you have your own bathroom, private bedroom. Like if I needed to go lay down for a minute, I would just, shut the door and chill out. Okay, I'm recharged. Let's go. I just really beautiful building too. It's like natural stones and wood. I mean, I could go on. This place was amazing.
Yeah, it
That
was
big
so
central.
amazing. It's like this tiny little, well, it wasn't tiny either, but this little gem in like so perfectly crafted.
Yeah.
Like and it felt modern. I don't know when it was built, but
Right.
to me it had like state of the art stuff.
It's right. And it has even like office. If you needed to have like a web conference,
Oh,
there was just like
yes.
an internet in the office.
Yeah, and there were so many cool rooms. So if you did need to go like do something or pray or do something personal or do something with someone, connect privately, like there was so many beautiful spaces.
So beautiful. And the central room that which we hold all of our held
Oh,
all of our main sessions in was just epic. It was large ceiling, big, beautiful, giant windows. It was like the whole room was just one window almost, right? So you could have the view of the mountains, view of the trees, view of the setting sun, and beautiful state of the art sound equipment. I mean, we could not have created like a better place. This is actually, so I'm just remembering now to look and see what the lineage of this tradition is. So the tradition that sort
mm,
of created and owns this space is actually I'm going to probably say it wrong, but it's Kagyu or Nyingma lineages of Tibetan Buddhism. One of
mm.
their masters, Tibetan Buddhist master, was Chogyam Trungpa, if I'm saying that correctly. And he is one that I had a huge, support in my awakening process when I left my house, left my car, left my soon to be husband, left my career, got in a van and drove around the country. I don't even know how I came across this book called Shambhala, Way of the Warrior, Spiritual Warrior, something like that, Heart Warrior, or something like that.
Mhm.
And I read it and I loved it. And it was just so affirming that I was like on the right path and that this was all good and that the things I was experiencing were part of my purification process and preparation process. And then I end up at this retreat center of his. I didn't even mean to or know. And so when we got there, I saw his book and I was like, oh, like, of course I was called to be in this place at this time with this lineage. And really, really beautiful.
And that's how all of it felt for me. And I didn't know what to expect at all. You just said, "Hey, do you want to be a part
Hey,
of this?"
hey, will you come do this with me? You're like, yeah.
And my guidance was instantly like, "Yes." And then I was like, "Okay, what about the details?" And my guidance was just like, "Go with the details because this is something that you really took time." The guidance came, was it a whole year?
I think it was a year. I think it was
Yeah.
about a year ago. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was exciting because everybody had time to
Like if they needed to save up or they
decide
had to
or
like
whatever.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to let everyone know as early as possible because I know if it were me, I'm planning out ways. I've got like family trips I need to do and all these sorts of things. And so if
Time
I want to
off.
do something
Like
like this,
people
I
have,
need to
yeah.
know
Yeah.
ahead of time or else I might not be able to go. So I was actually happy. I want to actually plan the next one
I was
as
gonna
soon as
say, so what's
possible.
the guidance?
Yeah. I have actually received like there will be more. And so, I don't know the details yet. I haven't like haven't even it's not even been a day. So
It hasn't. Yeah.
right. Or it's been a little over a day. But yeah. And the sessions were so powerful for people. And we don't have to go into the details of what we actually did because I think that's really sacred and special, but just really powerful movements that people got to experience in themselves. And I think we don't always understand what we're going for, but we just know we're supposed to. And then you
Yeah.
get there and you sort of like release something really old or you
Or you could
receive this. Yeah.
Yeah, or you could think you're going you know what you're
Yeah,
going to work for.
that's true. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, actually, this is coming up for me. I mean, I had quite a few things come up for me in a really beautiful way. None of it felt so confronting where I like was overwhelmed
Yeah.
for me personally. But it, yeah, one thing when you asked me that first question, I'm kind of thinking back. The one thing I loved is we did some drumming in
Oh,
between
yeah.
stuff. And I've never done that before, like really allowed myself to do that. And yeah, I had such a great time. And everyone's like, oh, we didn't know you could drum. And I was like,
I
yeah.
didn't know I could draw. Yeah.
But it was just the spirit of everything was just like, let it go, close your eyes and allow yourself. And I think sometimes we can't get there with it just regularly, or we don't allow ourselves, or whatever it is, right? I'm really good at like being able to distract myself with like doing and things that need to be done. I love the comments that are coming through. And so to just have that space to even just express that part of my soul was so happy. And so I actually just did a little bit of it every day, whether I was alone or people were participating. And I'm like, okay, so now that I'm back where I live, I'm like, I need to find a drum circle.
Yeah.
So it's inspired a part of me that I didn't really even know was there.
So cool. Yeah, there was things too that were, I want to say, like really profound experiences people had, or maybe really deep in the source field, or really up in their higher self, or right in this elevated sort of state of consciousness. And then there were also sort of things that you could think are really mundane, like, oh, I yelled a song. Oh, I like, did this other thing, but actually that's profound because it's unlocking something like you were just describing. Like there's something in you that's just like, oh, I'm like called to this. Actually, this is therapeutic, right? My body feels good with this. Like there's something deeper that's happening here. And that was really fun to see too, how often that came through, right? Low level, high level, it's all good level.
Yeah. And even if you can just for 1 minute feel anything a little more or differently than you had before, I think that's like huge.
Yeah. It's really cool too. We got, this is maybe like the smallest part of it, but it was just so fun for me because we had like a solstice party. It was just like an unstructured party. Like everyone go up to the session room or just have some music. We had like 80s music playing, and people were just kind of dancing around and having fun and socializing. And it was really cool to honor the solstice. The whole event was honoring the solstice really, but at the moment of solstice, we got to have this little gathering. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I've ever been to a totally sober party before, and it's awesome.
Well,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't have parties. People don't have parties for something if everyone's sober. There's not many times or places where everyone is sober anyway. It's like someone's on something, right? This is our society is very, very supportive, especially of alcohol, which again, I'm not like in judgment of if people drink alcohol sometimes, but this was an alcohol-free facility at least. And so here we were in this party where there's no alcohol, there's no drugs here, and super high vibes also, right? And we're in this space and this time, and it was just really fun. It was a fun little gathering.
Yeah, that's totally true. Interesting that you mentioned it. I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah, because you were like, of course, we're all, yeah. What else would we do?
It just felt so beautiful and natural. It didn't feel like anything was missing, or I wouldn't feel that way anyways. But yeah, it's really
I don't
cool.
think anyone missed out. Yeah. They were all, it was cool. Ashley had fun sober dancing, which is cool. I mean, this is a thing, right? Again, it may seem small, but like how often have you danced or sung sober? For me, like some, right? Because I've been sober for a while, and I'm also like, some of my spiritual path is sort of singing or vocalizing and, dancing a little and all these sorts of things. But in general, in society, we don't tend to sing and dance. So we like sing because we're drunk or dance because we're drunk, right?
Right, but at the origin of all of us. I don't know that it was always sober in the tribes and stuff, but whatever, the indigenous part of
Yeah.
us, the beginnings, I think that's what it felt like. It felt really, really origin, like
Coming back to our roots.
related. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like such a level of oneness that was so freeing. Like my body's getting hot just talking about it because
Yeah.
I think I'm still releasing whatever releases when you feel that connection, that seamless oneness. And I love that Ashley just commented, it was like also this space where you could just do whatever you felt moved to do or participate in, or there was no societal pressure to do one thing or another. So if you take that away, there's just like happy souls.
Yeah, when you're not judged, when you feel safe, when you feel you've already seen that you can be vulnerable and you're still protected, like there's this like high trust, right? And so yeah, it's freeing. I hear about these rainbow gatherings, I almost went to one a long time ago, and life had other plans for me, but I respect their intention, and I hear about the people who go there and just finally they're in this space, they're in nature, they're grounded, they're in this high trust thing, this high love thing, and they just like start like bawling or like shaking because they've like never experienced that. And this is a little different, obviously, perhaps, but it's the same sort of like, man, we're all missing this actually. And people were also, I want to say, very affectionate. But like not if you didn't want to be affectionate, but there just was a lot of affection between
It wasn't
people.
awkward or
No.
anything, but there
Yeah.
was
And no one was
there
forcing
was
like
a
we have to
care.
hug now. But
Like
yeah.
everybody cared about each other and
Right.
cared about each other's well-being, and we're also like delighted to be around each other.
Yeah.
And so it was just really special.
Really special. One of the things that came forward, it was actually in the throat chakra session, but it was just, we used to all sing. We used to all sing. It wasn't like whose voice is good enough or do you know the song well enough or right any of that. It was just you just sing. Like it's just a thing. Like your voice is for singing. And so we sing, when we're around the fire, we sing when we're doing work, we sing like all the time actually. And if you look at the tribes that are still living sort of tribally and they're out in nature all the time, they're singing all the time. And it's a universal thing. And now we just you might be a singer or someone who sings, but the vast majority of people are like, not singing. All right. Not dancing, not singing. Don't feel safe. Don't feel empowered to do it. And everyone there was. It's very cool.
Yeah, there was a freedom in the connection with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so lucky. It was everybody brought that. Everybody helped create that there. So that's
and some people I remember like just them sharing like I'm actually really not sure why I'm here, but I just knew I had to be here. And I think when you listen to that calling and you trust that, wow, that's powerful.
It's huge. There was, I won't call anyone out by name, but there was even someone there who like had no idea who I was, never listened to me, never you, nothing, just came.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's high trust. That's beautiful. And got so much out of it. So much out of it. Right. So yeah, when you listen to your heart, good things happen. It was also, again, I feel like we got to see people's gifts turn on. And this was another thing I felt even uncomfortable saying as I was creating this, but I was like, this is what I'm told, right? We're like activating some spiritual skills here. And so you might leave this retreat with an ability maybe you didn't know you had, or maybe you knew you had it, but now it's like bigger, brighter, easier, clearer, who knows what. But that's what I was told. And so I said it and it was true. I mean, people just like activated. It was so cool to watch.
Yep. Receiving messages, seeing images, all kinds of different things happening, the connection, feeling different, this openness, it really, It really happened. It was so powerful.
It was.
And,
Oh,
whenever, and this is what we do together, though, it's just like,
mhm.
and not just me and you, but like, just this is what,
People.
yeah, when we gather within this intention and this care and this connection in something that was just guided to be created and held, and also everyone invested in it. They invested in their time, they invested all the resources, all the things, and also people also made right sacrifices, like using your time off from work or leaving your family or whatever had to happen, and that's just what made it that much more beautiful.
Right.
And the power we hold together is much greater than the one light bulb.
So much greater. This is the thing that I love too, because I think people when they work with you or with me, they often say things like, wow, I was able to go deeper than I thought I could, right? Or I've not experienced this much depth or this connection. And they're grateful for that. And I think they attribute it to us. And sure, we help. But really it's you, right? But it's also
Yeah.
just that togetherness. And then you add the group, the larger group, not just two, right? But many. And that just magnifies it even more. And then you add the space we were in, that sacred, structure created by the specific Tibetan Buddhist tradition. Then you add the space we're in on this sacred mountain and this creststone and this giant crystal deposit and this portal on Earth. And then you add the solstice, and all those things can like magnify your experience. So I went deeper than I've ever gone as well.
And all the testing whatever everybody went through on their journey to get the actual physical journey to get to where they were. I just
Isn't
feel
that,
like
yeah,
everyone was rewarded for that.
right. Yeah, there's this thing you perhaps even introduced me to that's like, oh, if you're, call it testing, call it like purification, but like things are going to happen as you move towards a
Yeah.
big, right, like soul shift or soul level transformation. And nobody escaped that on this journey. Everybody had their sort of something they had to
It all
move
looked
through,
different.
right, to get there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so sometimes when I can feel that happening, sometimes you can feel when it's happening to protect you or to keep you from doing something. I feel like that's a different
It's a
thing.
different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was like, no, I know in my heart, it's like testing the trust.
Mhm.
It's testing all these things, and then there's some hurdles to go through. And so when especially like before a spiritual trip or something, you're doing for your growth, for nourishment, like I feel like the more the hurdles come at you, like in the funny, most unexpected ways, by the way. It's like the more I'm like, oh, this is going to be so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. The more, the more that's in the way, the more the bigger the payoff, we could say. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like when you're going to do a session, the person like can't find a link even though you've sent it to them a bunch of times, and their Zoom's not quite working and their internet or all of a sudden goes out, and like you have to do it over the phone instead, or it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is going to be
It's
really,
going to be
really
big.
important. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is funny too, because you do have to sort of discern between the times when like the things are getting in the way because it's trying to like warn you, like, hey, don't go or whatever. But it is a totally different feeling when you actually like tap into it in your heart, right? Like, which one is this? Is this the purification? Is this the warning? It's like you still know your heart's calling you to this retreat. It's just that
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's this hiccup in the path, right?
Yeah, and some of it might feel like something's kind of like interfering or whatever. But I feel like that could be part of the test.
Yeah.
And your commitment to yourself, and you know, and the
Yeah.
calling you feel, and trusting that. And
Yeah, there was a few people who almost didn't come, right? They were like, "Oh, there's something in the way, and we don't know if we're gonna be able to make it." And it was like, "Oh, I like let's try to clear this so you can make it because I really hope you can be there." And then we did, and then it did, and then they could come, right? So things like that do just sort of like hey, how are you going to work around this or through this, or like really stick with your commitment, your call? And then again, look at the payoff. Look at all the things you
Yeah.
get to receive because you followed through.
I mean, I think that happens in life too, right? With different things. Just in, I mean, this is part of life, but just like normal things, there's things you feel called to. Yeah. But there is an ease about it where once it opens up, it's like, oh yeah, it'll flow.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, so we saw everyone there sort of transform. We saw people step up into higher understandings of themselves. We saw these gifts get turned on or brought online or enhanced.
Yeah.
I think we also saw the earth and humanity receive a lot. And that's because it was our intention to work on ourselves and also the earth, to receive gifts ourselves and share them with the earth and all of humanity. And when you go in with that intention, I think you also see that ripple out in your personal life, in your personal relationships. It's a little early still, but I think everyone will sort of see that effect. But also just in the larger collective of humanity. And we can't really measure that, but you can like feel it, right? And you can sort of see it and sense it. And every time that happens, I'm so grateful that we get to do this, right? It's already really gratifying to see people transform themselves. It's also gratifying to see that like we affect the world.
Yeah, and that was one of my favorite things actually, was that there was this heart of service that was present.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, everybody probably went to experience something for themselves or felt called to that aspect of it. But there was also this just like gathering to send a positive message to humanity, to send that light and that nourishment. And that intention is really powerful when you carry that in your heart alone. And then when you join your heart with others who also really carry that. And it can be so simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And I think that was also demonstrated in our time together. Like, wow, so many things can happen. The simple way is the powerful way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it really is true.
Right.
But just like coming together there's something about that when you step outside of yourself in that. And I think that was just naturally built in there. That was my experience. It was like,
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was just such a environment conducive to that. And everyone just wanted to help everybody
The whole time.
in this really beautiful.
I mean, like everyone wanted to help everyone there. I was so impressed by people like brought snacks and they brought gifts and they brought like all this. They just wanted to help everyone who was at the retreat, and everyone wanted to help everyone in the world. Right. And couldn't be, I think, a more different group of people. There's no way we would all just connect randomly, right? Like we had like people who were 20 something, we had people who were 60 something, we had everyone in between, we had guys, we had girls, we had all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. Like there's no like reason why this group should be together and gel so well and have such like a high intention for humanity together. Is really, really cool.
Yeah, it was really, really sweet.
Yeah. Special group of people, special time of year, special place. So are you down to do it again?
I'm down to do it again. Yay!
Yeah.
So, anyone who didn't join us, who's listening to this, you're also special. So
you deserve this too.
Yes, you do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It very much so.
Me too. There's so many people. I'm not even joking. It was like, the day one, we sort of met for dinner, had a little evening, but day two is when like the sessions actually started and the kind of work really began. And
although day one was very powerful.
Day one was very powerful. There were ceremonies, there was initiation. It was cool. I'm not discounting it, but it was like the morning on the full first day. People were already like, "Are we doing this again next year?" I was like, "I hope so." And then like every day they're out, people would be like, are you doing this again next year? Come back. Where people by the end were just assuming like, oh yeah, we're all coming back again. We're doing this again next year. That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like you're in the flow when it felt like we were there for weeks, but also didn't.
Yeah. Not in a way like, oh, when will this end? But in a like, wow,
No.
this is
Like we've
crazy.
really been doing a lot, and then also, wow, the real reality of the time not actually being that long.
Yeah.
It really was just about connection, and I think that's what we need right now. And the benefits of Mother Earth when humans are in that deep, authentic connection. Like, I don't think that's woo-woo at all, honestly. I just feel like it's science. It makes sense. It's all the things. And when we get that nourishment, we receive that nourishment, we're a part of that nourishment, it benefits every single thing and every single one. So, me coming home to my animals specifically, I saw some family members, I saw some friends. I kind of jumped right into after I woke up from my nap. Then I was like, kind of jumped right into things. And I'm experiencing the difference even in that. And I just feel so peaceful and comfortable being myself, which I think is not always a given. It's the goal. Like it's where I would like. I think I can create the best from and cultivate and like why I'm here. But we go through all the things we go through day to day, and I just feel more equipped.
I love that. I always say, like, if you aren't experiencing a change in your lived experience, like if you aren't seeing something different in yourself or your life or your world, there's something else that needs to happen, right? Because that's exactly what this type of work does. It transforms you, and then your life changes, right? You change. You're just becoming more and more yourself, right? Your truest self. You're just sort of peeling off the stuff that isn't you. And yeah, as you do that, it's such a service, actually. Even if people have no idea what you're doing, even if they don't understand it, because they're connected to you, they also they get the wave, they get the energy. And I'm with you. It's our body's technology, I call it, and it's our natural sort of technology that this is actually how life works. It isn't woo-woo. And hopefully we're getting back to that truth more and more.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing is that's so powerful about gatherings like this and coming in connection for self-healing, for service, for all the things we've been talking about is it doesn't matter where you're at. And I don't mean to do that like this. I could do it like this too, right?
Right.
Individually, wherever you're at in your journey, in your connection, in your realizations, and your bringing forth your abilities, in your healing, which I personally believe that's what brings forward everything, is like healing all the separation, the pain, the suffering, all these things, whatever that is for you individually. It's all perfect. It's not about being in the same place as everyone else. It's about being held in the space that you're growing into or towards. And the light that we're all growing towards is the same, that source. So that's a big take, a big, like we physically went through that experience. I mean, we experienced it. Yeah. It's not just like in theory. It
happened. Yeah. I didn't have a test beforehand. I didn't have a test beforehand to sort of rank people and their spiritual skills. It was just like, yeah, we're all going to grow together. I even think, this comes through, and, a message might come through, whether a channeled message, which came through many times in this retreat, right? Or whether it's just sort of the teaching or the inspired message. And it comes through and everyone sort of receives it the way that they are able. And that's the best way for them to receive it, right? It's perfect. And that's sort of the thing about truth, is it will be received by everyone exactly the way that it is best for them to receive it. That's what I love about channeled messages in general, is everyone's getting like a slightly different experience, but it's all truth. It's all good. It's all beautiful. And it's all perfect for you. I couldn't plan it that way. You couldn't plan it that way, right? All we can do is sort of open up to allow it.
We're not in charge.
Yeah. Not in charge at all. Hopefully that's very clear. We're very good at, we're very good at least accepting the responsibility we're asked to carry, or choosing to, or right, being good at listening.
Trying to get better and better at it.
Yeah, we're getting better and better all the time. Yeah, but we're not the ones crafting this, creating this, or no, planning it. Nothing. We're getting good at listening.
Yeah, and the one thing I do want to share about you, Lindsay, personally is like, I just witnessed that you just hold that space really well for people. And I think, and I hope, and based on the conversations I have, and there might be something else out there, but everybody could feel that, that like, even you as right, the one who was guided to create this and lead this, it wasn't like nobody was feeling like you thought you were more special than anybody else. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's like, that's it. That's when you can go there, because everybody's going to be called to do something and step into a role at some point. And it's all important.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, because that's actually my main goal in life, is to remind everyone that they're the special one. You're the special one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not what it seems to be like in our mind. It's not what it is in our minds. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, the more we accept it, the better off we are. Not in the ego way, but just in the way of like, oh, I also can step into my truth, my channel.
Yeah, it's like letting go of comparison and just being in honor of where every single person is at. And I just feel like you hold that space really well. And I feel like in the retreat, that space was, it shifted and it was going through what it needed to go through in the best way. But I feel like it was held in that space where everybody felt that. I hope. That would be my hope. I certainly could feel that. That was like a really strong message that you were constantly reminding and connecting us all to. And I think that's so needed right now. Too.
Oh, it's my deep, deep honor, truly, to be able to be of service in that way. Thank you so much. Yeah. And you too. Right? I see the exact same from you for people. And it's just really beautiful too. I think people need people who are good models, right? Of which involves being humble, and it involves like admitting that we're human. It involves like
mistakes,
that we make mistakes, and like all of these things I think people actually need. There's enough of the sort of, oh, look at me, I'm really good, I'm really whatever, you should be
like the curated like display of life.
Yes. Yeah, we have enough of that. But then people remember like, oh yeah, well, I'm also human and fallible and make mistakes. So maybe I can do something, or maybe I can step up into this light. And it is what people need. Amongst other things. Yeah.
Well, I know it's been really helpful for me. Yeah. Because it's really easy to compare yourself. That's just not what this, I know journey is overused, but that's not what this path is about.
No.
It can't be.
It actually has to be authentic. It has to be authenticity, and you have to be brutally honest with exactly where you are and who you are and what you're doing, and, aiming to always do better. Yeah. But like also, well, here's where I'm at. And that's the only place you can grow from, right? It's just honesty, authenticity. Yes. Oh, Denise, thank you. I love that a lot of the people here are also part of this with us.
Wow. Oh, cool. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's funny too. I was sort of like, man, I'm supposed to do a show tonight. And then I was like, well, it has to be about this because I can't actually do anything else but think about everything. I'm still integrating and processing everything that just happened. So I'm glad Katherine wanted to do more as well.
I know when you reached out to me this morning, I was like coming out of my 11-hour coma of sleep.
Like, I don't know if I can do anything.
Like, what's going on? And then yes, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's connect. Because what we're also doing is we're just continuing to nourish the field that we were in and connect ourselves to it. And the expression of that is just love and appreciation and gratitude. And I'm just so grateful to everything that made that possible. It really was such a unique, beautiful experience. And it was also one of those beautiful, unique experiences that you just want to normalize and have be in like your everyday connection. And I really hold this in my heart that this is where we will get to. Those who want to get there will be able to like live in that no matter what, and just be unshakable in this. In order to do that, we have to actually practice and actually just do that.
Yeah.
So, and it's really interesting when you get to be experienced by others who are in that too. Because I would have conversations with people, and it's just like, it's almost like you're lining them up to like that part of themselves that's true that you're experiencing. And I think we all need might not be the right word. It's powerful to be witnessed in that authentic truth that you may be having a hard time connecting to within yourself.
Yeah, it helps you accept your own light, right?
Yeah, I think so.
How many times has the world said to you, like, wow, you're a bright soul, you can do such good work with yourself, heal others, transform the world? Like, that's not generally the message of the world, unfortunately. Hopefully it will become, like you said.
I think it's buried under there somehow. It has to be.
It's coming. It's just not repeated often yet.
Right.
Yeah, well, and I learned so much too, and I'm so lucky that I am able to have guidance in this, my spiritual connection that I receive from my guides and allies, like how to put it together, what needs to happen during it. That's so lucky for me, but also for me, it's a practice, right, to be in this leadership role. And of course, I draw on many years of public education, teaching, and so there's some similarity. There's a lot of
projection.
The voice projection. And other things that are helpful, but at the same time, it's a totally new, different experience for me as well. And so there's things that I got to sort of, like check myself on, or like see that weren't the perfect, or, how it could be better and how I could serve people better. And so my guidance on the very sort of last day, they were sort of like, hey, you've handled these sort of mess ups and these like things with some integrity and some humility. And so if you think you can sort of maintain that, let's do this again. Do you think you want to? And I was like, yeah, if you're going to like help me, if you're going to help me have that integrity and that humility, I'm down to do this. And it's my honor. And so I've already had that guidance that we're going to do this again. And so obviously that will be happening. Katherine, I'm hoping, will be there with us.
Yes.
If she chooses to. And so I will obviously keep everybody posted on that. The best way to keep in contact is to be on my Substack. I announce everything I do there. It's a free subscription. You don't have to pay. You can become a paid supporter there. And it is also the best way to support my work and what I do. But it's just a good way also to keep in touch and to know what's going on. It's rogueways.substack.com. You can also join my email list on rogueways.org. And it's at the bottom of every page. There's like the email sign up. So you can go sign up that too. They're two separate things. They both get the updates on events and stuff. Substack has a lot more than just the updates on events. So it's just kind of deeper connection there, but you can choose either one. And that would both be good enough to alert you when there's another retreat happening. So if you're out there wishing you joined us or wishing you could join us, you can, but that you got to keep in touch so you know when it's happening.
And if you want to have the experience of the equinox and solstice, they can join us for fall equinox, right?
One day of brightness.
One
Yeah.
day of
Follow.
brightness online.
Let's just see. Yeah, this
But-
one doesn't matter where you are, so you can be anywhere in the world.
Anyone can join. Yeah. And it's really, 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 really beautiful and powerful. And you'll get to meet most likely a lot of the people who came to the retreat.
Probably, yeah. They're probably going to want to tap into that field.
And did you say it's 5 years?
Yeah.
You've been doing and
5
I'm
years.
so grateful you've invited me to be a part of it for many. I think I've only missed one.
You missed one? That's
missed
actually
one.
shocking. Oh,
I know.
I didn't remember that.
It was because I had other things going on and I was just guided that I had to skip the one.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was a December one.
I don't remember that at all. In my head, you've been to every single one. So,
Well, anyway,
That's
I won't
fine.
miss another one.
so this one is going to be, I'm not sure the exact day of the equinox, but September 20th will be the day that we do the next one day of brightness. So virtual, come to Zoom. And by the way, just because it's virtual doesn't mean it's weak. It's super powerful. Distance and time and space have no effect on source connection. It's instantaneous everywhere.
Right.
So
And you could be comfortable in your home with your tea and your water and your tissues and your journal or your animals or whatever it is. Yeah.
such a beautiful experience. So
Yeah.
and we'll be like resonating with the summer solstice, retreat we just had. So it's probably going to be a pretty bright one day of brightness.
Yeah, I think each time we're like, this was the most powerful one.
Yeah.
This one was the most powerful one. And it's not to diminish the ones before. It's just like, honestly, it's something that keeps growing and growing and growing. And this was also created out of Lindsay listening to her guidance. And it's always in the synchronicities and everything that show up. When we do it together, because usually Lindsay will do a portion, I'll do a portion, and it's really amazing how the guidance just brings it together.
Yeah, it's always perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the same as the retreat, right? Like we couldn't have actually planned it this good. Like only source could do that. And yeah.
Right. So, it's like oftentimes we'll say we don't really plan, but it's not that there isn't a plan. It's just that it's not like our plan.
Right.
It's the guidance, and it can shift. And the really amazing benefit to that is like, it's actually tailored to everyone who shows up.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that, because even this
Yeah.
retreat, I got my guidance ahead of time. Here's the thing. Here's the schedule, everyone. Here's this and that. But also as we go, I mean, we're all people, everyone's experiences. And so things are shifting as we go. And so I got guidance in the midst of the retreat to shift a few things that we were doing to better serve everybody. And yeah, one day of brightness is no different.
Yeah. The session I led changed instantaneously. Because it's like whatever everyone was going through in that moment or needed support with, it just shifted. I had received guidance, kept checking in about it. I checked in like an hour before, 45 minutes before, and then we went and everybody was in the field. And then it was like, oh, actually it's going to be a little bit different. So it's good practice to learn, how to listen. I love
How to be
love
flexible.
to grow in that way. Yeah, divine flexibility, right?
Right, because everyone has free will. So in the
the date
moment, what are they
opening up.
choosing? Yeah.
I just love that for you, because you are such a take action in the moment, responsible, you're so good at that. So I love that you procrastinated.
Yeah.
Which actually you were just listening to divine timing. You were in sync with divine timing.
I didn't know it.
All that was.
Right.
And then out of that comes the result.
Right.
That was perfect.
Well, it's so funny because it's actually
That was
part
a
of
good
what I've
learning
been
for you, I think.
very good learning. Yeah.
the
The
plan.
one time I procrastinate in my life is the reason why this retreat gets to happen. But I also it's something I'm sort of working on is to not act so quickly, chill out a bit. You might just want to let this sit for a minute before you act. And I did it again today. I made a I just did something where I could have waited a little bit longer. It would have been a little bit better. And I knew that, and I did it anyway. And, it's a little thing, but it's something that like going forward, it's my intention to just go a little slower.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
like, the images I've been receiving about that lately, because that comes up, I think, for all of us when it's like, well, it comes up for me. And lots of times it's like, I'm just practicing being in action right now a lot because I have the time and space for it.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to not be or to get distracted or whatever. I think everybody probably understands that on some level. But it's like, when you used to do the jump rope, the big giant jump rope, and like you're going to jump in and have your turn where you're jumping up and down, but you just have to sit there and like wait. Like you could jump in at any time, but you just got to find your rhythm.
Yeah.
And then you jump in and it's perfect.
I love that analogy. Yeah.
It's kind of about listening. It's about also being brave. Because sometimes waiting is just as brave as full charge ahead.
Yeah,
like
for
sitting
me,
back in the cut for a minute is not always an easy thing to do.
definitely true for me.
But sometimes it's required.
Yeah. Yeah. It is funny too. That's one of those things, right? Like I'm learning to sort of hold back and wait, and you're learning to like be in action and go, and right? Everybody's got their things.
This is
I love
true.
it. Okay, well, I've shared where people can connect in order to keep in touch with future One Day of Brightness events or retreats.
Awesome.
Yeah, but where do you want people to go for you? Because, Katherine offers services and is a beautiful channel and offers some bright energy and good healing. So yeah, where can people go?
Thank you so much. Actually, I have some opportunities coming up this coming week for healing anxiety and depression with our pets and ourselves, which is perfect because in our neck of the woods, it's thunderstorm firework season.
Yeah.
I don't know how to share that with you. I should have shared that with you better ahead of time. They can always send me a message from my website, which is soullightpetservices.org. Let's see here.
Is that event on the website?
It isn't on there yet, but I do have the link. I don't know if you're able to share it that way or not.
There is a place here where you can private chat me. Oh, I see. Yeah. Let me share.
I also have on my website, which is soullightpetservices.org, all spelled out, which I can also type in here if that's easier. There we go.
Here we are.
So it's a 2-day event. And also you get the two sessions, so Thursday and Sunday. Those dates are subject to change depending on how big we have the class. And then you get a bonus 30-minute private session with me as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of great stuff and some videos and some practices. So really it's about really empowering you with tools to help you to heal and transform and do this for your animal companion as well. The anxiety, to release anxiety, to manage it, can continue to transform it on a self-clearing way, as well as receiving the Tao Hands blessings, which are just so powerful at really transforming that negative information of anxiety in your vibrational field and uplifting that vibrational field emotionally. I've been doing it with my animals. There was thunderstorms all like this month, and my little chihuahuas are so much chiller than they ever used to be. Mr. Ping is like, he used to climb the walls because he just wanted to like get away, and his whole body would shake. And now they're learning that they come to me, they look at me, they see what's up. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. We're okay. I'll let you know if we need to do something.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's so much, they're so much more balanced in that way. And you know how they say like the emotions go up the leash if you have a dog or whatever
Yeah.
animal you have.
Yeah.
You know, that's also like if you have anxiety, if your animal has anxiety, you probably have it too.
Yep. Yep.
And vice versa. And it is the fire element, which is
Mm.
the season we're in right now. And yeah, then we have 2 days of that, and then you get the one-on-one 30-minute session, which normally is I can't see here what is the honor fee 150. So normally the 30 minutes is usually $100. So
Oh, wow. So you're getting actually so much.
yeah, so much.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to do it. And even if you don't have a pet, you can still join. You know, it's for humans too, or both of you.
Right.
And yeah, then on my website, I offer, you know, of course, the pet readings, the 30-minute and hour. And then I also have on there Akashic Record readings that I've started doing more and more and more of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have many things. So
Yeah.
people could also go to calendly.com/soullight pet services and see all of your offerings, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. The
You know that
anxiety,
better than me.
the anxiety option is there.
I'm
but
still working
also,
on my website. I feel like my website is not quite dialed into what it needs to be, but it's there and to serve, and
Right.
it is a way to get a hold of me and find my services. So,
yes. I've sent so many people to you, especially for their animal companions and support and blessings and readings, and it changes people's lives too. You don't always recognize like exactly how connected you are with your animal and how you're both sharing sort of karma and trauma and extreme anxiety or other things, and it's just so helpful.
and like what your purpose is together. It's really, you know, when I started doing this work, I didn't really realize, like, because I kind of was stubborn and didn't actually kind of wanted to go a different direction, but I had to listen to my guidance, right? And I was so shocked at how many people I connected with that were like, that 30-minute pet session changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm so happy for you. That's so amazing. And it's
Right.
just because of the love and the power of the connection. And it is because your connection with your animal companion is also this spiritual connection. And it is also a path of healing. And we know our animals have that ability just so naturally, but guess what? We do too. And yeah, it's really easy to give the animals the credit for that, which they deserve. But like we also have that. We just have other things and wills that we can do.
Yeah.
That sometimes make us forget. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. So calendly.com/soullight-pet services. Ashley's commenting here. I didn't realize you did Akashic record readings. I feel like that's common. That's why I wanted to direct people to your whole Calendly, because there's lots of other things. There's also this anxiety option that's coming up. And same thing happens to me. People are like, I didn't know you did tarot. I didn't know you did sound healing. And I'm like, well, yeah, I have but it's hard, right? It's because you have some things you're focusing on right now, or you have some things we're talking about a retreat, but also we do a lot. We have a lot of ways we both want to assist you if you choose it and if it's appropriate for you. So we're here. We got you.
Yeah, the Akashic Record readings are so special. Yeah.
I'm sure of it. Yes.
Yeah. I think I wasn't being as brave as like calling them that for a while. And I think then some people were like, you should just call it that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like maybe some people don't know what that is. And if you don't, it's just like, it's like your past life history, right? Yeah.
Right. Well,
the things that need to come forward for you to learn and grow and heal, and also realize your gifts and your potentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I don't know if people realize that sometimes they book like a tarot reading with me, even like the life path tarot reading or the past life tarot reading, and they don't realize like this is a healing session. Like, you know, they're like, I just want to know some things that sounds fun. And then they get into it and they're like crying, or you don't always cry, but you know, like things come up and it's just, it makes you realize like, oh, this is why I might have this habit, or this is why I might have this karma or whatever. And it's transforming. And often I get this like, oh, I didn't know I thought this was just a tarot reading. And I'm like, I guess there are a lot of tarot readings that aren't also healing, but this is a healing session, actually.
The way
Right?
it wants to come through.
Akashic
Yeah.
record reading, this is a healing session. So you get information. It's fun. It's cool to know. And also you're going to heal. Like, that's going to
Well, anytime you open up that channel to the source, and the House of Akasha is like such a sacred place to tap into and connect to and have access to. And so when you're doing that, yeah, everything that comes through is such a healing frequency. Yeah.
Yeah, even just tapping into any sort of truth, source, connection, it's healing, right? I tell people this too, like we're coming together with this intention. We open the channel and we connect with the field, like that alone is healing. Even if like just pure information didn't come through, it would be healing, right? To do this. So yeah. Very powerful, very sacred. Okay, so you know where to go to connect with Katherine. You know where to go to connect with me. Yeah, you know where to go to connect with future retreat offerings as they come through. What are your final thoughts you want to leave people with, Miss Katherine?
Oh,
it's always hard. I always throw people on the spot right here at the end. Like, tell us your final thoughts.
no, I take a moment, the message that's coming through is just really cherish your heart, and not just your physical beating heart, your emotional, your spiritual heart. It is like it governs everything. Your connection, and it is actually just like your heart is such a treasure. It's a gem. It's just this beautiful, amazing thing. And sometimes I don't think we are practiced at just honoring that so deeply. Like, it's okay to start opening up that space to be in honor of your heart more and more, because the path that will lead you down is only a good one. Yeah.
Oh, beautifully said. And fellow travelers of the path, it is a beautiful thing. This has been your analog electric concentric dose of wisdom, according to the source connected messenger and healer, Katherine O'Shea. Katherine, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight.
Thank you.
While summer sunshine is sometimes hot and overwhelming, a little intense for some of us, but truly it is nourishing the height of our fiery energy within, here on Earth, and throughout the solar system, not just as a season, but as a true point of extreme in the pendulum swing of energy balance. It's our time to align with and harness our fire and passion, our renewal, and the bursting forth of what we have to offer the entirety of all that exists. You play a crucial role in that. So stoke those flames, build that fire, unleash that passion, and add to the crescendo of the thriving of life force energy that surrounds us here at the apex of the sun's journey throughout the year. And until you peak with that beautiful sun, travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first.
To them screens, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood wands of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. Hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.